Hello, Vince Graham here with a few ideas for alternatives to building an enormous, environmentally insensitive school in an oceanfront flood zone on Sullivan's Island. Recall the school's statement of purpose, calling for inquiry-based learners with the skills to contribute as stewards of the environment. Dismayed at the unwillingness to uphold this vision statement, I present a few ideas aimed at raising the level of discourse to get leaders back on track toward excellence through a progressive, more appropriately sized school that suits the island's character. We could develop a model school that over the long run could be built in other parts of Charleston County. The first thing to note is that Superintendent Nancy McGinley has stated she is not concerned with the school location. So one thing to consider is an alternative to the oceanfront location, such as land available north of Middle Street. Compare this location with the site of Mount Pleasant Academy in the Old Village. The site for Mount Pleasant Academy is a narrow marshfront site sitting next to ball fields and a wastewater treatment plant. Compare this to the island's long narrow site adjacent to ball fields and a wastewater treatment plant. Mount Pleasant Academy has a beautiful, welcoming facade on the narrow side of the lot, and its designers skillfully used lot depth to accommodate needed space. The back of the building has a terrace that overlooks an expansive marshfront playground. The Sullivan's Island Lighthouse and cell tower across the marsh can be observed from the playground. From overhead, you see Mount Pleasant Academy outlined in red, and if we move it over to Sullivan's Island, we'd first need to move the ball field to the top of the mound, already a popular place to play, and moving the school onto the site with access roads built here and here to provide circulation. The bandstand, playground, and basketball court could remain where they are. The marsh side of the site would accommodate a substantial playground. Remember the proposed site plan with the school outlined in red, parking lots, easements, and apparatus access. The remaining strips of land are planned as playgrounds. Compare these strips with the ample land available for a playground on the Middle Street site. There's more than 3 times as much land. Please don't mistakenly believe I'm advocating for a landscaper school of this scale. I simply want to point out that the advantage of the alternative location. For example, less severe flood zone and more protection from the ocean. The building wouldn't have to be built 9 feet in the air. The long side would be screened by the mound and trees. There's room for a larger playground. Traffic through the island would be reduced, and it would preclude one's ability to see the unsightly top of the building from the beach. Now consider a design alternative. This is the old Buist Academy on Calhoun Street downtown. It's 43 feet tall, more than 10% lower than the height of the mega school proposed for Sullivan's Island. Here's a scale model with the old school shown in red and the expansion plans shown in yellow. This school will be about 90,000 square feet, 20% bigger than that proposed for Sullivan's Island. But look at it from overhead. It's on a site that at 1.5 acres is less than a third of that proposed for the island. Here's the old school outlined in green and the new school outlined in red. Compared to the site on Sullivan's Island, here's how it would fit. A more compact building like this would generate substantially less stormwater runoff. This building footprint would almost fit on the town-owned site next to Sunrise Presbyterian Church. The advantages of this site is that it would be more accessible to residents on the Isle of Palms. For fun, here's how it would look on the present school site. In contrast to a single giant building, consider a campus-like setting. Here's one in Virginia developed by this guy who knew a bit about education. He set out to build what he called an academical village around a beautiful common space called the lawn, with a library at one end and teacher housing and classroom space surrounding. It looks like this from ground level and like this from up above. Compare the buildings and lawn of Jefferson's Academical Village to the Middle Street site on Sullivan's Island. Or consider something smaller like the building surrounding the cistern at the College of Charleston. From overhead, here are the 3 buildings surrounding the beautiful 1-acre space, and comparing them to the Sullivan's Island site. Or how about Ashley Hall, the acclaimed 100-year-old 650-student school in downtown Charleston? Ashley Hall sits on a 5-acre campus and consists of numerous buildings constructed over time in the midst of a gorgeous park-like campus setting. Moving these buildings to the Middle Street site, it might look something like this. Now recall the ball fields next to Mount Pleasant Academy. Fields this size could be built in any number of places on Sullivan's Island, including on the current school site. These are but a few ideas to get the conversation started. Hopefully this can help open minds to reason, stewardship, and excellence. Thanks for watching.